we have Sports Chat lined up for you. So we now get into Sports Chat.
I want us to jog our memories just a little bit. Nandi County is the source of champions. Elgeyo Marakwet County is the home of champions. And in today's edition of Sports Chat, I'll take you all the way to the city of champions, otherwise known as Uasin Gishu County. Now, this county is known to produce some of the most prolific athletes, not only locally but also globally. But amidst all this athletic prowess, we have other kinds of sports. And in this case, we have football. I'm standing on AstroTurf in a field belonging to Premier Eldoret Youth Soccer Academy, which is the only soccer academy in the North Rift and Western region. Let's take a look. Joining me right now is Coach Ken, one of the senior coaches in Pesa. How are you, Coach?
I'm good.
Kindly give us your full name.
My name is Ken Ambundo. I am the head coach at Pesa Academy.
How is the going so far in terms of the academy?
Okay, we are only 4 months old. We've managed to work up to around 84 kids up to this particular moment. But for today, due to the weather, we think many of the children chose not to come. One of the major goals that we have as a football academy is to introduce the soccer culture, especially in Uasin Gishu County. We know that Uasin Gishu has a lot of potential. Based on the history of Uasin Gishu, we've had previous teams that used to play in the Premier League. We had Rivertex, we had Eldoret Posta, we also had Eldoret KCC, of which I played for Eldoret KCC for around 9 years. We won the Moi Golden Cup in 1997, represented the country in the Cup Winners' Cup, though we were bundled out by Costa del Sol.
Coach, you've mentioned about the history of Eldoret in football. How can you compare it during your times and now?
Okay, there's a lot of difference. Those days, I'll say parents used to give their children a lot of support to pursue sports. But at the particular moment, with the Kenyan culture of education and academic excellence, many of the parents are not taking up football even as a profession. So you find that there's a gap of which we are trying to fill. We know that there are so many young people who are very talented. We want to provide that platform. We want to make sure that they realize their potential in a sporting way.
Would you say this is a way of bringing back the game to this county?
Definitely yes, because the first thing that you have to do is to deal with the aspect of infrastructure. We've invested a lot in making sure that we are able to improve the quality of players that we produce.
Maybe in terms of investment, kindly tell us what was put into coming up with this field, considering it's the only one in the North Rift region and also in the Western region.
Okay, I'll say it has costed a lot. Like our administration block is almost around 14 million. This AstroTurf, just to have it imported, it's over 5 million. So it's a lot of money that we've invested here.
Tell us about the numbers and maybe where you want to be in around 10 years.
Okay. Our first goal is for the next 10 years, we want to have a team that has this ground as its home ground. That is one of the goals. And compared to what we've invested, we know it will take a lot of time. Like all cultures, it takes time to change culture. It takes time to change people's attitude and perspective. So we are in for a long haul. We are determined and we know we will make it.
What are the age groups of the children who take part in this academy?
Okay, we enroll boys from the age of 5 and then up to around the age of 14.
Now I'm seeing majorly boys. Where are the girls in all this?
Okay, again, I know we have a football team in the county in the Premier League, Eldoret Falcons. They managed to win 7-1 the other day against Macolandas. We are working hard to bring the girls on board, and what we are striving to do is to partner with schools, going to speak to the head teachers, introducing the idea, and hopefully we trust that we'll be able to get kids, because I've been working with the Little Lambs. I have seen very talented girls there, and very soon I'll go out there and be able to speak to their parents and most probably be able to bring the girls on board.
Coming into this specific project, what did you foresee as the numbers that you're expecting for kids participating in this academy? Considering right now we have around 15. I know not all of them are here, but are you contented with these numbers?
No, our goal is to have up to around 200 kids. Though we are not so much about the numbers, we are so much about the quality of training that we have to provide. We are looking forward to expand our grounds. We want to do standard pitch, we intend to have the grass grown, and then we'll be able to have as many numbers as possible. But our main goal is not the numbers, but the quality.
You have so much belief in the quality that you want to bring up out of these kids. Maybe other than just you as the coach, other coaches, the parents, who are other shareholders in this project?
Okay, the main shareholders, and of which we expect to be, are the parents. Because we've realized that with parental involvement, we are capable of going places. So we are striving so much to bring so many parents on board. And in fact, one of our policy is to encourage as many parents as possible to bring their kids to the academy, watch their kids and give their children their feedback, because we understand that is the key to child development.
You're in just a few months old. So far, how is the experience with the kids? How do you feel? How do you feel as a coach who once played and who's now coaching other young kids?
Okay, I'm so excited to be around. For the last 4 months, I know there's young people who came here. They had no idea about what ball control was, what shooting was all about. There was some who were so heavy, they had issues to do with their weight. Yesterday I was speaking to one of them and I was so amazed. He has cut down the weight, his skill level has improved. He's also excited and looking forward to grow. So for me it is something very exciting.
And maybe as the coach, what next for you after maybe these children achieve 10 years where you want them to be? What next after you?
Okay. To be honest, I'm here for a long haul. I have worked with children for long. I have always believed it is my time to give back to them. I partner with different people. I strive as much as possible to give young people opportunities. And maybe I'm looking forward to start a foundation, and especially to look after those who are vulnerable in the society, those who are from very poor backgrounds, those who are not capable of paying money. I want just to provide a platform for them to be able to grow.
Other than just providing higher quality, what else is done differently for these kids as compared to those who train out there in our local environments? You know, other than just, they may not have access to such facilities. They may play with a ball that is made out of paper, but you still find that these are the same kids who grow up and get to play in the national league, and some even go outside. What is so different?
Okay, if you look at the environment here, it is more manipulated. And the more you manipulate the environment, the more you increase the quality. Like, for example, the turf alone. You find that the speed of the ball is very fast and it gives you very limited time to think. So that is the difference. We are trying to introduce a lot of science in what we are doing. Yeah.
Have you thought of what if these kids don't to get to the levels that you want them to get? Have you thought of a backup? Have you thought of what happens now from here? We've achieved all this, we're already up and running, but not everyone may make the cut.
Okay, one, we also have to accept the realities. Children play football for different reasons. Some are just playing football for recreational purposes. They just want to have fun. They want to make friendships and all that. There are those who are competitive. Like there's a boy who was telling me yesterday, I want to be a professional. For such a boy, we'll strive as much as possible to support. And apart from just supporting them technically, we'll also try to network and, let me say, put their videos online for them just to be able to be seen and just to be helped to move to another level.
Maybe how many coaches do we have at the moment training these children?
So at the moment, we are only 2 coaches. As the number increases, we are also looking forward to see that we increase the number of coaches, because we also believe that there is a ratio that goes hand in hand with the number of kids versus the coach.
Maybe by the time you're celebrating your first year anniversary with the academy, how many coaches do you think should be present?
Okay, I'll say my goal as the head coach is probably we should be able to have at least 100. 100, if we have around 5 to 6 coaches, it will be very fine with us.
Have you thought of a situation whereby you are at a position to offer employment opportunities to other older, and if I may quote unquote, the youth in the society? You know, there's some of them who want to venture into your field, coaching, for example. Have you thought of this as such a venture into bringing in other people who are not necessarily going to play football?
Okay, we provide a platform. Being a member of our Singishu Coaches Association, I strive as much as possible to post for volunteer opportunities, ask the young people to come over to do their practicals here. So we are providing those opportunities.
Is the county government supporting this initiative as far as you're concerned?
At the moment, okay, I know I've been postponing these many times. I've always wanted to go and bring them on board, meet the director of sports. We'll definitely bring him on board, but at the moment, I'll not say they are not supporting us. It is only that I have not made the initiative.
And maybe how far do you see PESA going locally?
Locally, we intend to have a team. In the next 10 years, we want to have a team here. We want to have this as their home ground. Our matches will be played here. We want to build as many teams and possibly even be able to travel out of town, go to different counties, play with different teams, and also even to go out of the country.
Don't you pleasure in the fact that you may be the only ones in the North Rift and Western region to have such a facility?
That is something we are very proud of. We are very much proud of. We are the first. We are praying that such facilities will be put in other places for kids to get a platform to be able to nurture their skills.
Now, Coach, have you ever been at a position where you get to travel out of town, visit some of these towns? For example, in Nairobi, we find that there are quite a number of soccer academies. Do you ever compare notes, see what to improve, see what to remove, among others?
Yeah, we've managed to build a network. I have visited Ligindogo. I have visited Juja Preparatory School, where the under-15 national team was camping, because my son is part of that team. I visited them, I looked at what they're doing. I saw they have the same AstroTurf, Ligindogo, the same thing. Many of the coaches there, we are partners, we keep on talking. And we are looking forward one of these fine days to also travel there with our boys and play with them, just to exchange ideas in one way or another.
Has the team had any official tournaments so far?
Okay, we've not had even a friendly match. That is due to the erratic availability of the boys when they come for training. Like I said earlier, the culture of football is not so much ingrained in our society. So you find that kids come to training once, they disappear like that. So we have not managed to build a team. We are hoping that this holiday, because it being very long, almost 2 months, we'll manage to build at least almost 4 teams or 5 teams with their age categories. We'll invite people for friendlies here, other kids to come, and then we'll be able to assess the level at which our boys are at.
Finally, what numbers are you expecting just this holiday?
Okay, like I said, up to this particular moment, we've managed to reach out to 84. We are trusting that, God willing, we should be able to have around 100.
Now, as you can see behind me, we have kids of a higher age group and, well, business as usual. But now joining me are some of the parents who have their kids in this academy, and we're just going to get to know how much of a difference that this makes in a child. How are you, sir?
I'm very fine, madam.
Kindly go ahead, introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Safania Kipchumba Koech. I'm a member of the County Assembly Service Board. I have a boy here who is 10 years. He's learning at Hill School. I learned about this program through the social media on FB in August. And from then onwards, I've been a member. The boy has been attending the training over the weekend. The weekdays is a little bit complicated because of the tight school program.
Maybe what prompted you to bring your child to this academy in the very first place?
Okay. I learned that nowadays with the social media, the TV, the tablets, the kids, you find them that they are just sleeping over the couch like the whole day. And I really believe that kind of behavior may not be very good to our children. It may lead to things like obesity and other lifestyle complications. So that's why I decided that let the boy go and play. Too much work without play makes Jack a dull boy.
And has your kid displayed interest in football rather in previous years?
Yes, he has a lot of interest in football. Me, I'm a fan of Chelsea. I have a DSTV in my home. And the boy is also a Chelsea fan. Since when he was very young, he followed the father. And he has been having that interest. So I just wanted to maybe make him play football. He has those applications, the PS4, the PS3, playing football on the TV, computers, and I didn't like that. I wanted him to play the real football.
Do you think this initiative, especially in a country that is known so much for athletic prowess?
For lack of better word, I think this one is one of the greatest initiatives. That's why I earlier said that when I joined this the PAISA Academy, I really learned that it is of great value not only to the kids, but it will also nurture talents for the football in our country. I remember there were days in which the football was very good. There was a time we had qualified for the African Cup of Nations, and then there was a breakup in. And I think the best way is the football training should begin at a tender age so that it can become inbuilt and the children can internalize. This era of choosing the footballers in the primary school in class 7, in class 6, I think it may not give us the desired result. So this is the best of the best.
We don't get to see such facilities every day, and now we see one in Eldoret, and it is considered to be the only one in the North Rift and Western region, which is a big deal. But don't you think there is room for more, considering the age groups that we see here? We have the youngest at 5, we have the oldest around at 14. They are viewing at large numbers in a few years to come. What do you think about the incorporation of slightly older kids, maybe those in their 20s?
Okay, we had actually asked the management about that, and they told us that this land is already 10 acres. As you can see around, this land is being made ready for maybe in the next 2 years we'll be having a bigger pitch, which will now be able to accommodate all the players. So I think this is the vision that we are going forward to. And then there was a challenge also for the children over 13 years, because most of them are candidates of class 8. So they were having the fear that maybe this may interfere with the academics of those kids.
Just as you have mentioned, how do you balance the football schedule and class schedule for your child?
Okay, for my child, that's why I say that I was not able to fit in on the programs. The child should actually be brought between 5 to 6 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But I was able to talk with the coach, and I asked him that let my boy just come on Saturday and Sunday, so that from Monday to Friday he can deal with the academic work. But now that it is a holiday, me, I don't believe in tuition. Me, I'm a teacher. I've just resigned like 6 months ago. Me, I believe that when it is time for learning, let it be time for learning. When it is time for the play, it's for the play. When it is holiday, let the children play out their hearts.
I want to take you away from the county. Let's talk about the state of football in Kenya. We have our national team, Harambee Stars. I bet you've seen of their performance. What can you say about all this? We have the likes of Gor Mahia topping the Kenya Premier League, and they're such champs. Kindly tell me something about football in Kenya.
Yeah, I think there is an upsurge of the football talent currently in Kenya. I had said that over the last 5 years, the football was at its lowest. But as you can see it now, it is picking up. I think right now, Kenya has one of the best teams in my I think that I've ever watched. It is one of the best. Scoring the 3 goals against Ethiopia, and not only scoring, but the manner of those scores. Even the game, you could see that the movement, those boys were having great movements. If you look at maybe the team in the previous years, it was just the goalkeepers striking the ball forward and then striker running on it and scoring. But this one, you could see the pattern. You could enjoy the movement. Yeah.
What do you think is the problem with our football? Why are we not going so far? And what do you think can be done to improve this status?
Well, we are actually doing it, madam. That's why I said we should begin it at a tender age. I think the program that we are having right now in Eldoret, representing the entire North Rift, is a very good initiative. I've also learned that there is another academy in Nairobi, and I believe that maybe if the counties can also give support. You see, this is a private entity. If the counties can also improve, there was a promise of the 5 stadiums which the Jubilee government has not yet delivered. But I believe if the counties can just do some little pitches for the kids, I think in the next 10 years, 15 years, Kenya will be competing against the giants of this world in football.
So that is just one of the parents, and when we come back from the break, we are going to continue with this conversation. We are going to have other parents, and also we're going to bring in the kids in the picture.
And from Rotuno's football skills there, maybe she should have started a little bit earlier on her football, but doing a great job as a reporter as well. So Rotuno, keep up the good work. And well, in part 2 of this particular story that she has brought us, let's hear what the children have to say. But from me, I'd like to sign off right now and wish you all a fantastic and a wonderful day. But do stay with us. We've got part 2 of this particular story coming up. But also, we do have News Center lined up for you starting at 9 o'clock. But from me and Morning Express, well, we want to say goodbye for now, but Rotuno still has more. Let's listen in to what the children had to say.
We are back from the break, and let's just take a look at the arena, as beautiful as it is. As you can see, we also have lights, meaning that the kids have a chance to play in the night. We don't get to see that every day, except, well, in such well-established soccer academies. And if we can just take a look again, it looks like the game is getting a bit more heated. We see the older kids and some of the younger kids playing. And as I said, this just goes to show of how determined these kids are. And right now, joining me is yet another parent who has a kid in this same soccer academy. How are you, sir?
I'm fine.
Kindly go ahead, introduce yourself.
I'm Ereu Kibon Totono, and I'm an employee of the University of Eldoret. I brought my son here. I have two sons here. I have Lee Lekakeng playing here, and I have also Chilogoi Victor playing here.
Maybe what age groups are your sons in?
My son, one of the sons is in 9, and the other one is 15. Yeah, they are both in this academy.
If you are a kid, would you join this same soccer academy?
Obviously, I would join any time this academy. In fact, these are the facilities we missed when we were young kids. But I think this academy is an opportunity for us to exploit as parents and the community. Thank you.
We are seeing a rise in soccer academies all over the country, and specifically in the city that is Nairobi, and now we have one in Eldoret. Do you think these are some of the things that will help towards developing the state of football in the country?
Yeah, I think if you see developed countries like Germany, to develop their football team, the Germany machine, they actually had a program for 10 years that they developed from the young kids of 9 to 10, and they develop them throughout until they got their senior team. I think for this country, it's a start, and we really like the idea that this Space Academy has started in this region.
And what prompted you to bring your child to the academy in the very first place?
I think we, as parents, have realized that the TV programs that our children are watching, the kind of company they have in the estates are not good enough. And we thought it would be a good place for our kids to be, rather than playing in the estates and watching programs in the TV.
Do you think this location is favorable for this specific academy?
I think it's a very favorable place for such an academy because, one, it's outside town. Second, we don't have a lot of the interruptions when the kids are playing because it's obviously out of town. So we don't have traffic problems. The only challenge we have here is the road to this place. If the county government can facilitate the road system, I think it would be a good place.
We can see the numbers are quite few as at now. The kids who are participating are not at par as per the expectations of the academy. Do you think this will affect the outcome of this academy?
Well, I think the challenge that could be there is the location in terms of the estates that are surrounding the place. If you expected that this would have been moved to something like Lancaster, for example, you would have expected quite a number of kids. But again, the facility is here, and maybe the payment system would also discourage some of the kids in Lancaster and such other estates.
And what can you say about the progress of your kids since they began playing in the academy up to now? Is there a change in how they behave, in their skill levels, among others?
I think the character, I think the academy teaches not just the football here. They also teach character change. The interaction they have had with the other kids has also changed his character, certainly. And technically in football, I could say that he has picked a lot of skills here. that would measure up with some of the academies in the developed world, you can say.
Are you a proud parent of a child, rather children, in Paisal?
Yes, I am a very proud parent because you can see technically that your child is actually moving from play technically in football. And I'm excited about this academy. I'm excited about the location of the academy. And I'm excited that an individual can think about such a program. We have always wanted that the county government or even the national government develop such facilities, but it has not been coming.
I'm a big fan of development in this era. What do you think can be done better to ensure that there is progress in this academy?
I think resources. I think resources should be pumped into such academies. The government, the national government, should also encourage such individuals who have actually brought the initiatives, so that in the end we can partner. The national government can partner with private partners to develop such facilities, so that in the end the country benefits by getting a pool of talent to get to the national team.
I'm impressed as a parent. I've joined some colleagues of mine, and we are bringing in more so that we can make this football academy more prominent here. It is a great investment in this area in terms of football, and we hope that our children are going to learn more as time goes by.
Are there any noticeable changes in your child since when they began this academy to now?
Definitely, yes. He normally plays in school, but here he has learned those necessary tactics, the dribbling and the scoring, and the boy is excited about the whole thing. And as we go back home, he's been telling me stories about how important this academy is.
Where do you see your child in maybe the next 10 years, considering that in just that 10 years they expect a team to rise up from this specific academy?
Well, according to the schedule that the PACE has given us, is that they have great plans. They are scheduled to have a competitive football with some teams outside Eldoret. And they are promising that they are going to take our kids outside the country once they have perfected the skills that they are learning here.
What would you say is the biggest challenge when it comes to football in Kenya?
Well, I think football should start early. It's important for children to start doing the skills early, and as they progress, they are able to improve on those skills. And as they become, they join the adult teams, they are able to improve on that.
So right now we are at ground level, and this is how my interview is going to play out. I am with the kids, and basically that is why we are at ground level, because they are that young. How are you?
Fine.
What is your name and how old are you?
My name is Fabian Kiro and I'm 10 years old.
Fabian, you have been in this academy for how long now?
2 months and some weeks.
And how is it so far? Are you having fun? Is it boring?
I'm having fun.
And why do you say you're having fun? What do you do here that you don't do out there?
You practice a lot, you do a lot of things, play with friends. It's just so entertaining.
What made you want to play football in the first place?
It's because it's a nice game. People love it. And my father used to tell me good stories about football.
Which team do you support, either locally or out there?
Chelsea.
Why Chelsea?
Because it's a good team.
And who is your star in football?
It's Messi.
Messi, why Messi? I mean, we have Ronaldo, we have other very many big football players.
Because Messi runs with the ball nicely, controls it beautifully. But Ronaldo, he's just